from Guymon Petro. It's the DC3 Coaches Show. And now here's your host, Ryan AUSMUS.
Hi guys, and thanks for joining us again. We're on the cusp of another Conquistador basketball season, so we're excited to talk with both Zach Loll and Steve Tucker tonight as the men open up at home Thursday against Siston-Wapton College, while the women will be at a tournament in Sedalia, Missouri to start their season. And of course, we'll talk to head football coach Gary Thomas as the 3-7 Conquistador football team has just one game remaining in the season. Our Conquistador men's golfers finished their fall season ranked as the number 10 junior college team in the nation. The men dominated their final tournament of the year, taking the first 6 positions in the leaderboard, including the winner, Saxget-Giroux, 4 under 140 for 2 rounds. Our Conqs soccer teams have also wrapped up competition this year. The men finished at 11-5-2, 7-3-2 in conference, good enough for 3rd place in the Jayhawk West. At the Region 6 playoffs in Great Bend, the team won a shootout victory over Neosho before falling 4-2 to conference champion Barton County. Conq women fell in their first match at the Region 6 tourney, a 4-0 shutout to conference champ Butler. The women finished at 9-9-1 and 8-6-0 in conference play. Conquistador women's basketball coach Zach Loll is in his 3rd year with the team. Loll took over a club in some disarray, but last season he was able to nearly triple the team's win totals from his first season in Dodge City. The team will travel to Sedalia, Missouri to open the season at the McDonald's Classic, taking on State Fair Community College Friday and Kirkwood Community College Saturday. We're excited for basketball season, so let's talk to Coach Loll. Coach, welcome to the DC3 Coaches Show.
Ryan, it's a pleasure to be here, and
thank you.
Thanks for all the fans coming out tonight, supporting us in the Coaches Show, and look forward to joining you in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great crowd this evening. We got a lot of faculty, staff, we got board members, a lot of fans from the community. So it's wonderful to see everybody here this evening. Let's start off this evening though as a newcomer to the show, if you will, your first time being here. Why don't we just start off by you introducing yourself to the audience and to the fans?
Zach Loll, entering my 3rd season here at DC3, and really excited for this season. Really feel like we finally have the pieces in place that 2 recruiting classes under my belt, so we have players here that fit into what we want to do and move forward and compete in the Jayhawk Conference.
Okay, that's a great lead into my next question, because I want to go ahead and jump in and talk about your roster. So looking at your roster, you got a nice mix of freshmen, you got a nice mix of sophomores, so experience and talent. So just share with us about the makeup of your roster and what you're hoping to see from your team this year.
We've got eight returning sophomores, which we've got our classes balanced out after last year when we had 14 freshmen, which was a learning process for them and myself. But this year having 8 back, they know what the expectation I have for the girls as players, so it's helped us be able to get some more things implemented. We're farther along in what we want to do at this point than we've been in the last couple years, and we're fortunate that we've got some leaders in that sophomore class. We've got a point guard, Allie Baker from Watonga, Oklahoma, that really played well late in the season for us. We've got 2 other sophomores, Addison Raleigh from Woodward, Oklahoma, and Michaela Ewing from Ranger, Texas, that were our leading scorers coming back. That helped give us some scoring punch, along with Kaylin Maple and Ashley Nelson, both Dodge City girls, have really come along this summer, put in a lot of work, and we're expecting some really good things from them. Ashley gives us some versatility, and Kaylin's going to be the anchor for us inside in the post, and does a great job with just a lot of dirty work, rebounding, defending, setting screens, but it's a role she's embraced, and every team needs some players like that, and she does it great. And then we've got another sophomore, Riley Burris from Topeka, that has ties to Dodge City, that's a shooter for us. And then we've got Kaylee Dale, another inside post player that just gives everything she's got when she's on the floor.
Absolutely. Appreciate you introducing your team. We look forward to watching them, obviously, this upcoming season. Now, I want to break away from basketball just for one moment, and I want to bring our attention to academics. I'm going to have to cheat, take a look at my notes, but I want to make sure and mention this. This is something that you and your team and our college as a whole should be proud of. But in August, your team was named to the Coaches Association Top 25 Academic Honor Roll. That is a tremendous honor. Can you talk to us about that honor and the importance of academics to you and your team?
Well, it's about giving these young ladies the total well-rounded, when they come to us, be able to have diversity, okay? And it's not just basketball wins and losses, but their career is going to be very short, and I want to ensure that when they leave us in 2 years that they're prepared for either the 4-year university level or to go out into the workforce. So, we take academics seriously, and we spend time with it. And it's part of what we go into with recruiting is how are they academically, because what they do academically is going to transfer over to what they do basketball-wise, and those things interact with one another. So, if you're able to get it done in the classroom, you're going to be able to get it done in the on the basketball court too. So those things go hand in hand, and I take pride in what we do academically and the successes we have in the classroom. And I've got a group of young ladies that also know the importance of it and buy into that. And take their studies seriously.
Absolutely. So congratulations on that. That's been
Thank
one of the neat things about doing this show and interacting with the coaches is learning all the successes that our student athletes are having in the classroom. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving back to basketball. Kind of off camera, we kind of started talking philosophy, if you will, or something that a coach prides themselves in, because it seems like that every coach seems to have an area of the game where they pride themselves on, whether that would be defense, we're going to run people off the court offensively, we're going to dominate the boards, or whatever it might be. What do you and your team pride yourselves on?
I think there's two areas where we really want to try to pride ourselves, and one's defensively, really making it tough on teams to score against us. And the other one is rebounding wise. And I think if you are able to rebound the basketball, that's gonna trickle into all the other facets of the game and give your team success. Because if you're not giving the other team second chance points, you're gonna limit their opportunities. And on the offensive end, if you create second chance points for yourself, it's going to give you some easy baskets and really kind of defeat the other team when you miss a shot and then score another basket. And usually that upsets a coach too, and they get after their girls when that happens too.
So it looks like your focus is going to be defense, rebounding. How are you guys going to look offensively this year? What's your philosophy as it relates to offense?
Offensively, we're doing some things differently this year than I really have in my 20-plus years of coaching. We're really looking to pressure the ball, extend our pressure full court, really speed up the pace of the game. But on the offensive end, so we're trying to create some easy opportunities for ourselves. But when we get into the half court, it's going to be motion offense. And the one thing I found coaching young ladies is you've got to teach them how to play the game. A lot of them come in from a high school, very structured, pass here, go there.
Right.
And at our level, you've got to be able to make plays. So, we're going to look to make plays. We're going to look to be unselfish with the basketball. So we're hard to guard, that we can't just focus on one or two players and take them away and hurt us offensively, but we're going to have a well-balanced attack on the offensive end.
Okay, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but thus far you've had a couple of scrimmages. I think you've had a game against Northern Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. So thus far, what have you seen from your team that you like, and what areas might you need to improve in?
Well, I've really liked our team chemistry and just our energy that we've brought to our scrimmages and our one game that we've had, or one scrimmage that we had down in Enid. But we've had a lot of energy, and the chemistry's been good. The thing we need to get better at is the defense that I've talked about. Friday we were down in Enid, and I was disappointed in our execution defensively, and it's something that we can fix. We bounced back Saturday morning, had a great practice. here in just a few minutes after I finish up going to practice.
Yeah. You got
So we'll see if we've got that same energy that we had Saturday, and because we've got 3 days of practice before we get on the road, head to Sedalia. So we need to have 3 solid days. And defense, I was talking with Coach Tucker today. It just comes down to heart and guts, and we just have to dig a little bit deeper, and we just can't be on the defensive end and give up easy baskets. We've got to dig in and really decide that we're not going to give any easy baskets.
Okay, I think we've got a couple minutes left, so maybe a couple more questions. But you just touched on it, so let's go ahead and talk about Sedalia. You guys will be on the road on November 1st and 2nd?
Second and third.
Second and third at the McDonald's Classic in
Sedalia.
So share with us a little bit about that tournament and what you're hoping to see from your team.
Well, we're going to have to go out and compete, and we know a little bit about State Fair. They're going to know a little bit about us, but it's going to be first game jitters, trying to get, who kind of loosens up first, can put the ball in the basket, get some stops. There's going to be mistakes made. We're going to have to play through those mistakes, but they're going to be an athletic team. They're going to be at home. So, we're going to have to go in and be ready to play. And then on Saturday afternoon, we play against the Division II runner-up.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I thought one of them was a university.
Kirkwood College, which out of Iowa, they're always a good team. We've got some information on them. They're just going to be real solid. They're not going to make mistakes and beat themselves. So, we're going to have to go out and take care of business. But I'm a firm believer in going out and playing good competition.
Absolutely.
And seeing where we're at and getting, so we can come back then the next week and make ourselves better, because our first, 4 games on the road. The following weekend, we go to Liberal, play at Seward, and we've got, I think, the number 14th or 15th ranked South Plains College that's going to be a handful on that Saturday, and we play Frank Phillips on Friday. So, 4 good teams to get started with, but, I feel I've got a group of young ladies that are going to go out and compete, and I feel we're in a really good place with our team that we can go out and compete and have success.
So one more question.
You're fine.
Give me about 10 seconds. Because in the intro, we had mentioned that you had, basically tripled your win output from your first year to last year. How you keep that momentum going?
Well, I think it comes from, we did a lot of not a lot, but we set goals at the beginning of the season with the team. And they're goals that the girls came up with, and they set some goals on how we want to do on the road. We didn't play well on the road last year, and they want to play better on the road and get some road wins and defend our home court. And they understand what it's about. They've been through it, the sophomores, for 31 games, so they understand what the grind's about. They give us great leadership, and we've got to build off that. And the thing is, getting the freshmen to understand you're not the best player on your team anymore.
Right.
Everybody's as good as you or better. So it's getting everybody on the same page, ready to go out and compete. And we don't have any gimmies on our schedule. We're going to have to go out and give our best every night, and then see how we do.
All right, Coach. Hey, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much. Good luck. Thank you. I'll see you on campus.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Let's give Coach Loll a round of applause, please. Steve Tucker is a Conquistador men's basketball coach, starting his 2nd season with the Conqs. Tucker's club went 8-23 last season. The men open their season at home, taking on Siston-Wapton College Thursday at 7:30. With a freshman-heavy squad, Tucker and the Conqs will need a lot of things to go right for them this season. Let's bring in Coach Tucker to talk about some of the things. Very, very nice seeing you. Wonderful to have you here this evening. Let's go ahead and start off as your first visit to the show, and you're entering your second year as Conqs head coach, men's head coach. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the fans and to the community?
Well, I'm Steve Tucker. I'm the head basketball coach for the men's program. This is my 2nd season. Originally, I'm from Mississippi. Lived in Texas for 10 years before moving here and coached pro basketball for 22 seasons.
President Nolte's territory down there. Okay.
Yeah, we had a mutual friend who helped lead me here, but coached pro basketball for 22 years. But I'm really, really happy to be back in college basketball, and I love what I'm doing now.
Absolutely. I took a look at your resume. You got a deep resume. It's wonderful to
Got
have
a lot of
you here.
good players
Yeah.
over the years. A lot of good coaches who've made me look awfully good.
Absolutely. So it's great to have you here at the college, and nice to have you here at the show.
Thank you very
Let's
much.
go ahead and talk about your team a little bit. Let's talk about your roster. As I mentioned in the intro, you're laden with freshmen. You do have some sophomores coming back. But why don't you just talk about the makeup of your team and introduce us to the players who'll be watching this season?
Well, we've got 14 freshmen that we brought in last spring, and we feel real good about those young men. They're developing and finding their way right now, as most freshmen are. We have 3 guys back from last year's team: Justice Dixon, Jairus Friels, and Kevin Howard. And all 3 of those guys have come back. They're all 3 captains of our team this year. We're excited about the group we brought in. We also brought in a sophomore transfer in Henry the Jet Taylor, who transferred from Mississippi Valley State in the SWAC conference.
Coach, I hate to cut you off, but the Jet, is that moving up and down the court?
The Jet is moving up and down the court. When he turns the turbo on, it's time to go.
He gets up and down. I got you.
He does, and but he transferred in from Mississippi Valley State University in the SWAC conference, NCAA Division I.
Yeah.
We were fortunate to get him. Then we've got a really talented freshman class, really led by a Wichita young man, played at Valley High School in Joe Petrakis, and also Mike Burns from Louisville, Kentucky, Trey Hill from Louisville, Kentucky, and just a real good group of freshman young men that we think are going to be an outstanding group here for our men's basketball program.
Excellent. Thank you for introducing your team to us. I'm looking forward to watching them play this this year.
For asking me to.
So as I was, I mentioned to you off camera, and then I'd also visited a little bit about it with Coach Loll about aspects of the game that coaches and teams need to pride themselves in, whether that's on the defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball, three-point shooting, rebound. What area do you and your team pride themselves in? What area do you need to be successful at this year to be successful in the conference?
I think just being diverse, being able to play different styles, being able to grind it out, being able to run, being able to pressure defensively. Yeah. I think you've got to be diverse to win in today's game. You just can't play one style. You've got to be able to adapt and adjust, sometimes to opponents, sometimes to the situation, sometimes to how you want to attack opponents.
Yeah.
So I think diversity is really the key for our team. We base everything on fundamentals. And, our young kids right now are really trying to find themselves.
Right.
Because I think that the game is less taught today than it's ever been. And I think kids watch way too much ESPN, Sports Center, and they think they can go out there and do the things they see on TV. Some of them can.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
most of them can't.
Can't, right.
And because of that, I think that we have to really break the game down for them. We get kids in here that really have to become fundamentally sound. They don't arrive fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I think is a real prize this year for Coach Loll and the Lady Conquistadors, is they got 8 players back that knew his system. Right. It's really something for us to have 3 back that knew our system.
Yeah.
And, I think that's going to really play dividends for the women. It's going to help us as we prepare our freshmen.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, we're kind of where Coach Loll was last year, because he had 14 freshmen.
Right.
So he knows the battles that we're going through. So hopefully we can get through those. We can learn. We can get a little bit more balance in our program in the years to come, where we got part sophomores, part freshmen, and then we can move on from there.
Right. So let's talk offense and defense, and I want to use that word diversity, being diversified. So, and obviously you're much more knowledgeable in this area than I am, but the game has changed. So offensively, are you guys going to run, 5 smalls, 5 big, 5 bigs? Well, no, you'd never run 5 bigs, but 3 guards.
Well,
two bigs.
We basically run a 3-out, 2-in.
Oh, okay.
We base our offense on a 3-out, 2-in. Now we do a lot of things out of that.
Yeah.
And but I still like the double post.
Okay.
I like the 3 perimeter men. We'll do a lot of things with the double post. We'll go high-low, and that really creates problems for people, especially if you've got two really good postmen, this year we got two freshmen that we think are going to be really outstanding.
Excellent.
And Mike Burns, who's 6'10", weighs 235, and also in Joe Petrakis, who's 6'10", and he goes about 220. Both those guys are 18 years old. So there's a lot of things we're going to be able to do with them that we haven't been able to do in the past. Now, we had a really good post guy last year in Jairus Friels the last 11 games, and the Jayhawk last year, he averaged 18.5 points and 11 rebounds a game. And Jairus is going to be a sophomore, so we're going to be able to do a lot with that trio, having two on the floor at the same time and kind of, moving them around a little bit.
Absolutely. It's going to be wonderful to have those kind of options on offense. So as we talk about defense, what's kind of your philosophy on defense? Man-to-man, a zone, a mixture? What's your philosophy there?
Well, I think you got to be diverse.
Absolutely.
Surprise and change.
Yeah.
They got a lot to prepare for. But we base everything off our man-to-man defense.
Okay.
And we'll do it. Yeah. We'll pressure in our half court. We'll pressure full court, three-quarter court, half court. We'll hit you in different areas. And we do a lot of things defensively. A lot of things are going on defensively that the average fan doesn't even see going on.
Right.
That you may not see going on.
Absolutely.
Now, there are coaches. If Tony Starnes, the high school coach, was at our game, he'd see those things.
Yeah.
Zach Loll would see those things. But the normal fan aren't going to see some of the things that we got going on. Everything we do is based on communication.
Right.
If you can't talk, you can't play for the Conqs. You got to be able to talk in every phase of the game. So, those are the things. If we can communicate, we can do a lot of things to defend you, to attack you, to disrupt you.
Absolutely. So so you've got a couple. I think you've got a few scrimmages under your belt at this point. Maybe a couple of one or two games.
Yeah, we're trying to find ourselves.
So through that process, what are you liking from your team, and what are you thinking you might need to improve on as you move into further down the season?
I like our athleticism. We're a lot bigger than we were a year ago, and I like our athleticism. And we're still trying to find ourselves. And I thought we took a real broad step today, and I thought we had one of our best practices today. It was as fluent offensively as I've seen us against good defense.
Yeah.
And I thought we shot the ball really well today. I think the one thing that we haven't done that I thought we would do is we haven't shot the ball as consistently as I thought we would do with this group. But I think that's coming. That's coming. And my teams have always been tough defensively. I think the one thing that you knew we were going to do a year ago, even though we weren't extremely talented, we were going to guard you. Yeah. And I think if this team will guard anywhere near the way the team guarded a year ago, we got a chance to be really good. Yeah.
Okay, that leads me into my next question. I was going to ask, as you look out across the conference, what are you going to be your keys to success this year?
Be ready to play every night.
There you go.
I had our athletic director come in and speak to our team when the school year started. And he gave a great talk in our locker room. And one of the questions that was asked, and I asked the question, what have you got to do to win the Jayhawk? And I thought he gave the best answer that could have been given. He looked our players straight in the eye and he said, you got to be ready to play every night. And if you're ready to play every night, you give yourself a chance to win. Because there's teams in this league don't come to play every night. But if we can be ready to play every night, we got a chance to do something special.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we got time for one more question.
Sure.
So you've got the Pepsi Classic coming up November 9th and 10th. Is that correct? And you've kind of already touched on this, but what are you hoping to see from your team as you move into that tournament?
I just hope to see improvement.
Yeah.
We got to play harder, and we got to play better, and we got to play smarter. And if we see that kind of improvement, that's what I'm looking for. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Absolutely.
There's a long way to the finish line in March.
Yes,
we
sir.
want to make sure we're the first one that crosses it.
I got you. Well, you're well on your way. Hey, Coach, I appreciate the time. Good luck for the season. I'll look forward to seeing you guys out on the court.
God bless you.
Thank you. You too. God bless. Thank you. The
Conquistador
Conquistador football team lost another tough matchup Saturday, falling 40-33 to Highland last weekend. Sixth time the team has had to face an opponent ranked in the top 25 in the nation. 3-7 Conqs have just one game remaining for their 2018 season. So let's bring out head coach Gary Thomas, talk about the game. Tough season the team's had thus far. Coach, so as we've had the last few shows, we've got 2 games that are already in the pocket, and then one to look forward to. So let's start with we'll be covering Hutch, Highland, and then you got Fort Scott coming up the 10th. And we'll talk about your bye week as well. But let's start with Hutchinson Blue Dragons. So they came into town on October 20th. 4th ranked team in the nation, and they were able to come away with a 45-7 victory. Let's just start with your overall thoughts on that contest.
It's a good football team. Them and Garden's gonna be a fun game to watch. I think it's this weekend.
Yeah, and they're 2-4 still, right? Nationally.
I doubt that will change because Iowa Western's right in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
And Iowa Western beat Hutch, so I don't think they'll jump them. But good football team. We made some mistakes. We had 2 offensive touchdowns. We had our backup running back, put the ball on the ground and gave him a freebie, and our quarterback makes a bad read on one and gives them pick 6. And then they had their 4th-string running back in there at one point. We got him tackled for a 5-yard loss, and he breaks 4 tackles.
I remember that play,
Goes for a 60-yard deal. So, the score, again, just like some other games, it wasn't indicative of how close the game actually was. We're on the 8-yard line at one point, and just get a horrible call. They call a pass interference where we'd have been 1st and goal on the 4, and they picked that flag up. I felt like the game was more like a 24-14 type of game.
Yeah.
But again, you get those quick 1 turnover, offensive touchdowns, and that score escalates pretty quickly. But it's a good football team. I think if we, they're on a level that we'd like to get to, at least with the team that they have this year. It is a talented group. They're playing well, a lot of confidence. Like I said, it's going to be a dogfight, I think, this weekend. But I don't think the score is indicative of how, I think, much closer those 2 teams are than how it actually looked if you just read the box score.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that a few times over the course of a year, but the final score was 45-7, so one might think that we were completely dominated, but it really wasn't. Like first quarter, give up the 81-yard touchdown run, then we turn around late, fumble the ball, they pick it up, run it in 20 yards for a touchdown. So, into first quarter, it's 14-0, and we really did 2 plays, and then it just kind of seemed, as you said, just kind of snowball from there.
That's pretty good definition. It's they are a good football team. They're extremely talented, but like I said, I don't feel like the flow of the game was as bad as what the final score represented.
I had this thought, so I'll go ahead and mention it. You can comment on it. Do you think there was any kind of layover or lag or, I don't know, hangover from the game against Iowa Central? Go up there, kind of have a tough loss, things just got away from you, then, come home, a couple things, don't go away early, and then it just kind of snowballs as well?
No, I think when you're playing a team like Hutch, if you have a great day, you're only going to score, 24 points on a defense like that anyway. Yeah. I don't care who you are. Right. So I think once the way things played out and we put ourselves into a 21-point deficit early, the one drive where we're down there and we don't get any points out of it, that would have made it a 14-7 game if we don't have our backup running back hand the ball to the linebacker. Yeah. It's a 10-7, 14-7 game at the half, and you have a reason to play hard, and you have the confidence and the belief that you can get back in it.
Right.
I think when it hits a point of where it's 21-0 or you're at a 21-point deficit, I think the kids just quit at that point, and they're going, we're not going to catch a 21-point deficit. Even if we score 21, they're probably going to score 14 to 21 more again, still, because that's how the flow of the game is going to go. Yeah. So we gifted them so many points at the beginning that it becomes such an uphill battle that I think even mentally, I don't think they don't believe that they can catch them, so they don't try to catch them.
Okay, let's move away from Hutch, move on to Highland. Had a tough loss, 40-33, traveled to Highland to take on the Scotties. Now, this is something I hadn't done in the past, but you were talking about box score against Hutchinson. Yeah. So I went ahead and pulled out the box score. So just indulge me for a moment. Now, I know you know these stats, but I want to kind of share some of this information with the crowd, with the audience, with the fans. So first downs, we 27-19 had them in first downs. Third down efficiency, we were 8 of 18, which actually is very high, 44%. Yep. Totally offensive plays, we basically doubled their offensive play output. Net passing yards, 282 to 112. Now, they did outrush us, but we still almost rushed the ball for 200 yards. Yep. We beat them in total return yards, and then time of possession, We held the ball almost 18 minutes longer than they did. So if you just look at the box score, I mean, it looks like we pretty much dominated that game, which we did really, going into the fourth quarter where we ended up giving up 26 points. So can you just, I mean, your overall thoughts on that game, but specifically focus there on the fourth quarter and kind of, I don't know, lack of a better term, how things just kind of unraveled and giving up those 26 points.
I mean, ultimately, when you lose a football game, you never want to. Sometimes when you lose, you can point out a specific play, and you're like, you know, people like to say that lost the game, but you could point out probably 10 other occasions that contributed, so that one guy is not necessarily the fall guy.
Yeah.
You know, last week, I don't know. You know, we're down there in the second quarter, and we're on the 7-yard line, and we call a routine pass play, and our quarterback throws it right to the corner.
Yeah, pick six.
And no, that one was
that
just
not
a
the pick six? Okay.
We're about to be first and goal on the 3.
Yeah.
And we come away with no points on that deal. And at halftime, we were down 14-10, and we should have been leading 17-14 at that point in time. Yeah. And he had no explanation, said he froze, and knew he needed to throw the ball, so he lobbed it, and it went right to the corner.
Yeah.
Didn't say I missed on the throw. I mean, we went through a whole litany of walked him through it, and I mean, he froze.
Yeah.
And I mean, that can't happen at this level. I mean, you know, there's too much on the line, and we take too much time in practice and repetition and all that kind of stuff. And you know, then down the stretch, you know, we have the lead. We're up 10 points with 10 to go, and we're second and goal on the 3-yard line. We call a sweep. In retrospect, obviously, you know, hindsight's 2020. I'd have taken that one back.
Right.
We lose 3. I probably should have stayed with an inside run play and put us into a 3rd and goal from the 1.5. But that put us into a 3rd and goal from the 6. You know, I talked to the quarterback before the play and said, "Don't." You know, I said, "Be smart here. Be smart." You know, thinking if something's not right, throw it out of the back of the end zone. We'll kick the field goal and we'll go up 13 with 10 to go.
Right.
We run our goal line combo, and we've got our receiver running wide open across the back line of the end zone. He doesn't wait for him to come in the window like he's supposed to. We run that drill every single Wednesday, over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Have the same discussion every Wednesday, over and over and over again. And he throws it right to the linebacker, and he takes it back 100 yards. And you could have sucked the energy out of the room all on that one snap. The next drive, we go 3 and out, and they go one play, 50 yards.
Yeah.
So we have all the control in the world. They can't stop us. They haven't stopped us. They didn't stop us after that.
Yeah.
But 2 big mistakes at the quarterback position was literally a 17-point difference in the game.
Yeah.
Even if one of those possessions at quarterback, we kick a field goal and one we score, assuming they weren't both touchdowns, even though we'd have been at the 3-yard line on both.
Right.
Let's assume that one was a field goal and one was a touchdown. That's 10 points minus the pick 6. That's a 17-point swing in the game. I mean, we comfortably win that football game. We did everything that we were supposed to do, other than 2 snaps that literally cost us the football game.
Right.
And I don't know. That one was a hard one to swallow, just because of the catastrophic mistakes that we've made in almost every game.
Right.
You know, we can't just make a bad play. We have to make the worst play ever, and we're not learning. We're not improving. We're improving in certain aspects. We're not improving on the bad plays that get you beat in close ball games.
As a player, as a coach, any loss is difficult, but those games that kind of get away from you, you're kind of like, okay, it got away from us, let's just regroup and move on. But the games where you feel like you have them in hand and they just slip away, those seems to be the toughest to get over. So how do you guys kind of move past last week and get ready for Fort Scott in the season on a positive note?
Well, I mean, it's tough to draw the bye, you know, in week 11, but maybe the bye is coming at the right time, allows everybody to step back and kind of regroup and make one last run at getting things right. You know, we're the only school in the conference that's played 10 straight football games. We're the only one, which is hard to do. And there's some teams that we've played that have already had 2 byes by the time that we've played them this year.
Yeah.
So there's some teams that are only on their 8th game, and we're on our 10th. So that's a difficult thing from a health standpoint. I mean, we played on Saturday with a left tackle who hasn't started a game for us, a left guard who hasn't started a game for us, and our center who started most of the games for us, but he came here as a walk-on. we're playing with a patchwork group at best, and our left tackle is going to have surgery, or our right tackle is going to have surgery after the season on his shoulder. He's just playing through it. Halfway through the game, they popped his shoulder back into play. I mean, we really are playing with one running back who's taken 90% of the snaps. I mean, we're just barely holding together with a hot glue gun, and and that's what's even more frustrating to play. You put in a game plan and you hope that it's going to work, and then you watch it work to the point of 88 plays for 500 yards and completely dominate the football game on the offensive side of the ball, and you lose.
Yeah,
it's a hard pill to swallow. So hopefully, if we can bring anything back from the bye week, it's just to catch our breath a little bit and get out of the grind for a minute, and and regroup and make a run at beating a team that's probably having some similar struggles to what we've had in Fort Scott, a talented group, and they've been in some of the similar ball games that we've been in. They played Highland close at the beginning, but they're kind of hard to read. You look at similar opponents. You look at Highland. We played Highland close. They played Highland close. You look at Butler. Arguably we should have beat Butler. Butler, I think, blew them out. So common opponents, and I think with their style of play, it really does come down to matchups.
Right.
There's some games where they match up really good, and there's some games where they don't. And, they seem to be struggling on defense and not particularly playing very well, but offensively they're very capable. Kale does a good job, and they got some guys on that side of the ball.
Hometown guy, Kale Pick, he's head coach of Fort Scott.
They're loaded on offense with skill guys, and be interesting to see. I haven't followed them, and I haven't watched their game from Saturday yet. They lost their quarterback 2 weeks ago in Butler, and they throw 7 interceptions, and so I don't know if they got their quarterback back yet and all that kind of stuff. So that'll make a big difference, I think, in the outcome of the game as well.
All right, Coach, we've been at this now for a while. Tom, I had a couple more questions. Time has just run away from us, but we'll catch up again here in another couple weeks. Hey, good luck against Fort Scott.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
So
Thank
much.
you. Let's give Coach Thomas a round of applause, please. Guys, that's all we have time for. Sure are grateful that you joined us this evening. Remember, men's basketball at Student Activity Center Thursday night. Let's come out and enjoy a game, and we'll see you next time on the DC3 Coaches Show. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.